Welcome back, everybody, to another Quick Switch review. Welcome to my audio listeners, and welcome to anyone who is viewing this on YouTube, which you should subscribe to the Quick Switch YouTube channel if you're watching this and you are unsubscribed. This is a game that didn't come out recently. It's a game that didn't even come out last year. It's a game that came out in September of 2021. It's a game called Golf Club Wasteland. And how I came about this game was I got it on sale during last year's indie holiday sale. Looking through a list of various indie games that were on sale, I saw this one and it stuck out to me because of its aesthetic. I was drawn in by the title and just playing golf in the story and the setting of it, which I'm going to read for you the description of it to give you an idea of what I mean of how this drew me in. So let's get into it. Now, Golf Club Wasteland is a game developed by Demagogue Studio and Untold Tales. And like I said, this came out in September of 2021. What is the description of this game? It says human life is wiped out. Earth is now a golf course for the ultra rich. The rich fled to Mars but ventured back to a desolate Earth for a round of golf. Each hole in the wasteland offers its own little story and possible puzzle to sink the perfect shot. Play through destroyed brutalist monuments, crumbling shopping malls, and abandoned museums as neon signs and pointed graffiti take swings at current events, Silicon Valley culture, and humanity. That is the premise that really drew me into this game. I was like, it's just a golf game, but the aspect of you are coming back to a ruined Earth as a Martian and playing essentially what is mini golf. Really interesting premise. And let's get into some of the gameplay. And going back to how I structure these reviews, I do a description, which I just did, and go over the gameplay, give you some positives, give you some negatives, and then finish up with some final thoughts. So let's get into some gameplay. The gameplay is pretty straightforward. You basically aim with the stick and you shoot with the A button. There's nothing more complicated than that. Obviously, with the stick, you can control and adjust the angle of the ball and also the power of your shot because you are playing a golf course and you can go as far or as shallow as you want to, going through various obstacles all over whatever hole that you are on. There's a good amount of weight behind the ball, maybe because it's a Martian ball, because it's red and it's not white, which if you were playing with the white ball, you really couldn't see what was going on. But I like the aspect of this ball being pretty well lit up and there is a good significant amount of weight on this ball, and it is very sensitive to how powerful your stroke is. There's also an element of geometry involved with golf, which I think that's just the case in general with golf, even in real life, where you're having to bank a lot of your shots and also judge the distance of where you are based on where you want to be. So you can see the angle and the arc of where you want to go in the ball and then look for where the hole is and then go to it. You are able to adjust the map and zoom in and zoom out as to where you are, where the hole is indicated by a flag, and then shoot to wherever it is you're going to based on the obstacles that are in front of you. There are obvious traps, and if you get caught in a trap like water or sand, or an animal gets it, or it even falls off the stage, because there are some stages that have just cliffs that go off into basically an abyss, the ball will come right back to you and you can start off where you go. And obviously, like in real golf, it counts as a stroke, which you do have an actual golf scorecard that you can check on in the pause menu, and there's par associated with each hole. It's about 35 in total. Some have more strokes than others just based off of that, but what is an interesting mechanic in this is that there is a diary entry for each stage, which kind of undergirds the whole story and the narrative of what is going on in this game. And if you're under par, it will unlock a new line in the diary that reveals more of the story. So you want to try aiming under par. And some are easier than others. Like I said, there are some that take you, maybe it says par is like 35 shots, some are 7, some are somewhere in between that. But if you go under, you will get a little notification that you got a new diary entry unlocked. But if you go over par, which I think I did a lot playing this game, there is an option that will give you to skip, which that will be a notification that pops up that it gives you the option to skip the entire hole, which I did not in my pride. But you can also just reset the level if you want to. So if you just want to skip this level, if you don't want to go on and play this, if you don't want to reset and try again and get frustrated, you can just skip it if you go on. No harm, no foul. There's also 3 distinct modes, which means every golfer can find something for their taste. Casual players can focus on just the story and a relaxed and scenic round of golf in the story mode, which is what I did to get through this review. Those looking for an extra challenge can beat each hole under par using skill and puzzle solving through the challenge mode, while the total pros can try iron mode, where there's almost zero room for error, so you can experience a level of replayability with all of these different story modes. Let's get into some positives. The story and the setting is what makes this game incredible for me. You get this weird sense of mystery of what has happened to the Earth while playing just a simple game of golf. The radio broadcast, which is the radio nostalgia from Mars, gives you a sense of what humanity is facing on Mars with this corporate takeover, while giving you glimpses as to what happened before this great catastrophe. There are various stories that are being played out as you're going between music and listening to the interviews with various people that have that left Earth to Mars, and what happened in between then and how life used to be before then, because you're listening to music from the 2020s basically, and you can piece together the full story of how humanity fell through these 3 distinct sources. So you have details from the lone golfer's story, who's come back to Earth for one last game, and your name is Charlie, by the way. That's the golfer who you're playing as. You have the radio nostalgia from Mars broadcast, which gives you a glimpse into the lives of who escaped, like I said earlier, and a narration from a secret spectator watching from a distance. Interesting twist on the diary entries that get thrown on into each stage. So interesting. I'm not going to spoil exactly what that means for you, but if you're playing the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And a nice touch is that the radio broadcast will lose signal as you go underground. It was an interesting touch. So you have a signal strength that you can check on the pause menu. It says that your signal strength is good or it is weak, and it'll cut out if you go underground. If you're close to the hole, this is also a nice touch. If you're close to the hole but didn't make it in, Charlie, your player, will lean back and make a very frustrated sound, just like you would if you were playing golf in general. That was also a nice touch to kind of get into that. The art in this is amazing. Most of the stages are just old buildings with a lot of flora and a lot of fauna. So the colors are pretty much the same. You got a lot of blues and purples, but it really feels the tone of the game, albeit mysterious, it's very relaxed and chill, not cheer, but chill. There are also some interesting stages, like there's a giant statue of Atlas. There's also a monster that lurks in the sewer in some of the later holes. Interesting touches, because you are in a destroyed Earth, so you don't know what's happened, but you kind of can infer based on what you see around you. Also really cool is that included with every copy of the game is the digital Club Wasteland official soundtrack, plus a graphic novel art book that further expands the backstory of the lone golfer Charlie in the stunning visual format. Really cool is that when you finish the game, you get a QR code which will take you to the website, which you can download the entire soundtrack and also the art book. So more content for you even post games. And a little bit of negatives here. I feel like these are more like nitpicks. I didn't find a whole lot of negatives, but just some things that I just found that, hey, maybe these could be addressed at some point, maybe not, who knows. But I think is a little too sensitive on the power of the shot. I felt like the arrow wasn't always as accurate as I wanted it to be. Sometimes I was like, I'm going to hit it here, and then it didn't feel like it went where it needed to go. But for the most part, it did exactly what it was doing. The gameplay was smooth, but I just thought the sensitivity of the shots were a little bit too sensitive. That's probably just me and my own gameplay. But also, I wish there was a little bit more club variety. So you're just playing with one club the whole time. You don't get a driver or a wedge or even a putter. You're just playing with probably just like a chip shot. I don't know anything about golf, to mind you, so I just wish there was more club variety where you can get a driver or a wedge or a putter based on the situation that is at hand to give you different distances of how you shoot the ball. Now, sometimes if you're in like a trap, like a sand pit, you do get a reduced level of distance based on where you're at, but I just wish there was an expansion of that. Maybe if there's a sequel at any some point, maybe if there's a different type of golfing game that this developer puts out, it would be nice to see an expansion of that concept. But anyway, that's just a little bit of nitpicks. I think this is a game I would definitely recommend if you have not picked this up already. If you're looking for an interesting twist on golfing, I was hooked by this premise. It's actually a pretty short game too. It'll take you about 2 hours to complete, but you can always go back and see how much better you can do and also play the other modes. Please give this a shot if you happen to missed it. If you happen to miss it, it was on sale at the time that I bought it, but it's fairly cheap. I think it's about $4.99 on the eShop currently. But yeah, that will do it for this review of Golf Club Wasteland. What did you think about this game? Did you play this game? And if you didn't, are you going to pick it up? Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Or if you listen on the audio broadcast, go to the Quick Switch YouTube channel and do those exact same things. Be sure to continue to listen to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday podcast of Quick Switch and all the things that I'm putting out on the YouTube channel. My name is Chike, aka It's Basically Fun. You can follow me on Twitter at Basically Fun. I'll see you later. Bye.